Coffey. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Susan Givens. I'm the publisher of AutoSuccess, and we have Casey Coffey joining us today from Greenway Automotive. He is the COO, and we are so excited to have you. Casey, thank you so much for joining us.
Susan, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So let's get started. Greenway Automotive is a huge organization. What are your responsibilities as the COO there?
You know, Susan, I'm responsible for all of the operations of our stores. We have 43 franchise stores located in 8 different states, primarily from Texas to the southeast, and have a large concentration of stores in Alabama, Texas, and Florida. And I oversee all of those operations.
My goodness, how did you get into the automotive industry?
You know, it's an interesting journey. I was originally going to go to law school and was set up to attend the University of Missouri Law School, and had a fraternity brother who called me and said he needed some help selling cars in Kansas City. And I told him I'd go help him for a couple months and then get back to my studies. And I went and joined him and never, ever left.
Well, that's great. And we're so glad that you're in the automotive industry. So so we know that Greenway sells new and used vehicles. What percentage of your business is used? And do you have a big focus on Recon?
We do, Susan. We are a one-to-one operation. That's our goal, and we eclipse that goal, actually. So 50%, a little over 50% of our operations are used. Of course, new is a big part of our business, but used is certainly, you know, equally as strong for us. And the reconditioning aspect of it is tremendous to our organization, not only from a profitability standpoint, but from the ability for us to be able to offer our consumers really, really great quality cars, and, you know, to the level of their expectations, that we can exceed their expectations with the quality that we have.
That's great. That's great. Do you have certain business partners that you can recommend to our audience, whether it's in Recon or marketing or CRM?
We do. Of course, in our CRM, we've used eLead for a long time. And on the reconditioning side, we have, in the last year, added Recon Velocity, which has made a great, tremendous impact in our level of reconditioning and our ability to be able to communicate that reconditioning to the customer, which so many dealers don't do and don't take advantage of. And it's made a big difference to our overall level of success.
That's great. So you've definitely improved. Before that, what was your organizational process for reconditioning?
You know, Susan, it was a little bit of a mismatch of operations. We have varying degrees of size of stores, from very, very large stores to rural stores. Some of our bigger stores used to use a application or software application that helped them with the reconditioning process and the tracking of that. And our smaller stores, quite frankly, just did it by feel and kind of off of the cuff. With adding Recon Velocity, we've been able to standardize and ensure that all of our processes are equal across the board, no matter what store we're in.
Okay, that's great. What incentives are you guys using for, you know, buying used cars? I know that inventory is such a big issue right now. What are you doing to get those used cars into your dealership so that you can buy and sell them to your customers?
Yeah, absolutely. So acquisition is a huge point. It is for everybody. Ever since the pandemic, it's become a central focus, I think, for most organizations, and certainly for Greenway, it's been paramount. The ability for us to be able to buy cars using a multi-channel approach has really led to some of our success, a lot of our success. So traditionally, we would rely on the auctions to the extent of about 60 to 70% of our acquisitions would come from that source. Certainly a large percentage of our vehicles we would get through trade-in. But since the pandemic, we've had to explore other opportunities, and those opportunities really revolve around decentralizing our acquisitions, making sure that each one of our stores is involved in trying to buy vehicles from the customers and really leaning into our own database to source our vehicles, and then also working on our service drives in order to acquire the vehicles that are necessary for us to hit the volume targets that we're looking for.
It's a different world right now in the automotive industry, isn't it?
It sure is. It changes rapidly, and of course, these last 2 years have been, nothing but change. So you got to constantly reinvent yourself.
For sure. So there's a lot of trends going on in our industry right now. What trends are you seeing and what trends are you going to apply to your dealerships in 2022?
Obviously, the transparency of the deal to the consumer is paramount to us, and the ease in which a consumer can find our inventory, uh, discover all of the attributes of a vehicle, be able to view the pictures, the reconditioning process, what we put into a car, and to essentially sit at home and have the comfort level of being able to buy a vehicle with full transparency, full disclosure, and they know exactly what they're getting. So all of the elements that we use now, particularly with Recon Velocity and Velocity Engage, give the customer that opportunity to be able to get all of that information in one portal and be able to help them make a decision and feel comfortable about the vehicle that they're buying.
Casey, thank you so much for joining us for this Dealer Insider Day. We really appreciate your expertise and your thoughts, and we would love to have you on the show again. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.